What is going on, everybody? It is Alex coming back at you with another video. And today we're doing round 2 of 3 of this mock draft. And if you guys have already watched the first round, you know exactly what type of mock draft this is. This is a what I would do mock draft. This is according to my personal preference. If I were sitting in the spot for every single team in every single spot, this is what I would do. So I'm throwing away schematic fits of like what teams have drafted in the past. I'm throwing out all that crap. Okay, so this is just what I would do, and you guys will disagree because you guys aren't me. But of course, you guys like these videos, like, comment, subscribe. Honestly, watch this video be like the one that is most realistic, but it would be quite funny. Regardless, let's start it off. Number 33 with the Jaguars. We went Evan Neal with the first pick. I do think edge is certainly something I would still target. You have some phenomenal pass rushers here, some phenomenal ones. Safety, I would be intrigued with getting a guy like Daxton Hill or Lewis Cine. Just, I don't think that's much of a need at this point compared to edge. You know, Cameron Thomas, I know he has a lot of hype. I don't like Logan Hall that much. So to me, it's actually Myjai, Josh Pascal as an interior rusher, and then Arnold Ebiketie. I like Myjai though. I've been doing this actually quite a bit for the Jags. Of course, a lot of these picks might be very similar to how it was before. And the reason why is because I like to blend in some realism there. At number 34 for the Lions, you know, at this spot, we've gotten, we got Aidan Hutchinson. We also got Nakobe Dean. Again, I'm throwing out like, oh, I can't take another defender because it's not realistic. You know, I am definitely intrigued on going George Pickens. I am. Because again, round 3, no bueno. Safety-wise, though, I mean, Lewis Cine, that strong safety role is just such a big need. And you can pick up free agent wide receivers. I mean, hell, Khalif Raymond has been doing a phenomenal job, right? So I know that wide receivers much easier to replace than safety, and the value of Lewis Cine is honestly a lot more than George Pickens. Because even though I dog on this class, there still are guys who have talent down here. Like Romeo Doubs, still a pretty solid dude. Eric Ezukanma, another guy, pretty good. Even you look at Danny Gray, as long as he catches the ball, so rep SMU. But there's guys in here. Tay Barber, I like Tay Barber as well. There's good value down the board. So I don't think that's the same case with the safety class. You know, you got Nick Cross here. I know Smoke Monday has some value as well. But apart from that, ain't much. Lewis Cine definitely thrust himself up into a high category. Strong safety is a huge position of need for the Lions. So we're going to be going Lewis Cine here. I think this is exactly where I would go. 35 with the Jets. I've already gotten KT. I've already gotten a true left tackle and guard replacement. So for me, I want to just get the best guy on the board. And whether that's Christian Harris or Brandon Smith, I don't know. But I don't really want the Texans potentially taking a linebacker here. Corner, again, I think that there's good value everywhere. I would go Kyler Gordon, to be honest, as well. But I think Brandon Smith he's too exciting. He's too much of an enticing prospect. Through junior, 4.38 speed at 240 pounds. That's something that I would be very intrigued with. I think it's honestly a very realistic landing spot for him in the draft. 36 with the Packers. If I'm sitting there, I'm definitely looking at the offensive line. This might be the spot where I take a shot on Penning or Raymond or Mitchell. Mitchell is definitely up there on my rankings. I do like Mitchell quite a bit. Nicholas Petit-Frere as well. He plays right tackle very well. So honestly, if I'm sitting here, is that or else I'm going after a first-round quality edge rusher. I'm going to go Arnold Ebiketie here out of Penn State. You know, Sam Williams is pretty close behind, but Arnold's just a freak. I love Arnold. Number 37. So we already got an offensive tackle in Charles Cross. You could have honestly went with Ikem Ekwonu. It doesn't really matter whichever one you want, because the Giants would have taken the leftovers, they're both phenomenal players. At this spot, I'm debating whether I go Sam Williams or not, because I really like Sam Williams. Corner as well is a good position to target. Like Kyler Gordon, another really solid corner. And there's a couple options. So like if I'm sitting there and I'm looking at the draft class, it's like, I feel like, God, this class is pretty stacked in terms of depth. It is. I mean, if I can get Marcus Jones in the early 3rd, I'm going to be very happy, versus if I'm looking at the edge group, I'm very particular on it. So best case scenario is Michael Clemens. So even though the edge group is really talented, it has its limitations. Sam Williams is he has these flashes that are next level. So Sam Williams out of Ole Miss, as long as he doesn't face mask people or because I'm not going to accuse him of it. All charges were dropped. SA. You guys can find out what someone who SAs somebody else means, but as long as he remains solid with character, this guy's going to be a big impact. I do like Sam Williams a lot. Number 38 for the Jets. Again, so we got linebacker, offensive line, edge help. Again, I'm just fully on board with going best player available. And it's like, I'm down to Kyler Gordon and Trey McBride here. I do like the tight ends in this class so much, though. I'd be much happier. I mean, again, Trey McBride is heads above the other ones, though, versus corner. Again, I can get pretty good value next round. I'm going to go Trey McBride. I think this is a good spot for him. I think it's a very good time to be able to just say, hey, we're going to take a guy who could be a legit receiving threat. The Jets do need some receiving help. And for me, I do like what Trey McBride brings to the table. That being said, I do like the tight end class next year, but this is a spot where it's like, hey, this is our 4th pick. We can spend it on somebody who is, in my opinion, heads above the other tight ends in the class. 39 for the Bears. Like at this spot, I might even look at Trevor Penning, just be like, screw it. You might as well. But again, the Bears, like you do need a wide, like if I'm sitting there, I need a wide receiver. George Pickens is exactly what I'm looking for. Again, you got Kyler Gordon here as well. Like depth sometimes can be a great thing. Like the edge class is very top heavy. Within the first 3 rounds, you're going to get excellent value. Corner wise, you're going to be on the very similar track, but it's going to be the first 4 rounds. The thing is, there's a lot of corners on the board. So if I am the Bears, I'm sitting there, I'm going to be going George Pickens out of Georgia. I think that he is the best wide receiver left on the board by a long shot. No disrespect to David Bell, but he's not a number 1. George Pickens could be. And this is a team that you need a big-bodied threat to help Justin Fields out down the field. That's exactly what George Pickens is. Number 40. So if I am the Broncos sitting here, I'm hammering Daxton Hill all day, but let's just see who else is on the board. I still have some very talented edge rushers here. Drake Jackson worth a second to me. Josh Pascal, especially if you use him on the interior. Linebacker wise, though, so to me right now, it is Christian Harris versus Daxton Hill. You're in a very good spot because both are phenomenal. Daxton Hill's going to play a slot corner role for you. Linebacker is pretty much gone after this year. Every single one of them, I believe, are up for contracts. So that's a big deal. I think I actually might go with Christian Harris here. He definitely thrusted his value up a lot in that Natty game. And again, that doesn't even matter. I'm not doing something that's realistic. The value of him, of the linebackers after that, like Jojo Doman, I think it's like what, 220, 230. Yeah, he's a bit smaller as well. Just, I heard that he's a safety comp. Very good coverage guy, but not a guy who I'd want to be leading my team as a linebacker 1. I think Christian Harris has that potential. So it's weird because I would like to pull the Daxton Hill trigger. I'm going to go Christian Harris, though. It's just something that you have to do. Number 41 for the Seahawks. Like, if I'm sitting there, I'm them. I'm like, who? Like, you still got guys like Jordan Davis, DeMarvin Leal on the board. I think you just go to Marvin Leal. I'm just not a big fan of him. This is a team that could use on the inside or outside. So why not at this point? Why not? 42, if I'm Washington, I'm hammering Daxton Hill all day. You need a slot corner as well as a safety. Whichever role that Cameron Curl's not playing, that's exactly where I would go. 43 for the Falcons. I mean, I might even just go after Jordan Davis here. That wouldn't be a bad idea either. Looking at the guys who are still available, I mean, wide receiver is another big one. But again, Jordan Davis is a unique threat. And if you use him in the right way, he can be a big time threat for this team. You can use him and Carl Loftus together along with Grady Jarrett. Yeah. So Jordan Davis is the pick. Again, this is where I have him graded. It's about a second rounder. 44 for the Browns. Like, let's see who's still on the board because there's not honestly many dudes who I'd want to take for this team at this point. You got Trevor Penning on the board. He should be going soon. Darian Kennard's a right tackle only for me. Zion Johnson's a second rounder as well. Tyler Smith's declared, or he's not declared, he's coming back. So I don't even know why they haven't taken him off yet. And this is actually updated too. That's the funny thing, because I had my dumbass closed out of the mock draft. I mean, if I were the team, I'd take a shot on Carson Strong. So we're going to do it. This is my mock draft after all. Like, this isn't realistic at all. This is like saying, hey, this is what I would do. I take a shot on Carson Strong. Hell yeah. The guy has some crazy high-end throws. It's going to be a lot. You're going to at least bring a new breath of fresh air to this team. We're going Carson Strong to the freaking Browns. Again, not realistic. That's just the way we roll here. Number 45 for the Ravens. I'm pulling a right tackle move all day, every day. Darian Kennard out of Kentucky. I lock him in pretty well right there. Number 46. It's actually another pick I normally do anyways. But number 46 for the Vikings. I'm them. I'm sitting here. Like, you got Trevor Penning on the board. You don't actually, offensive line actually wasn't doing too shabby this year. But I'd be looking for a team to move back with. I think that's the best move, because we already got a cornerback in Sauce Gardner, which is a good spot. But unless you can get Josh Pascal or Drake Jackson, I'm not going to pull the trigger here. And you do have some offensive linemen that are worth seconds on the board. So, and there's a team in the Colts right here that are going to be taking one. So a team might want to jump them. That team is the Miami Dolphins. I think that's a phenomenal move by the Dolphins too. They waited till the last second to move up. Where the hell are you, Vikings? There you are. And they're going to be rewarded for it. I think this is a good spot to trade a fifth. Maybe you could see if you get a seventh in return. Not crazy. Not a crazy deal. It's a short range trade. So we're going to be doing that. And this is going to be, it's either going to be Trevor Penning or else Nicholas Petit-Frere. And honestly, even Bernard Raymond's in here. Like, it's just up to your preference. I think I would take a shot on Trevor Penning. I'd also be weary of the fact that Trevor Penning's not a finished product. Bernard Raymond and Nicholas Petit-Frere are who I'm looking at for this next pick. Again, wide receiver is such a big need for this team, as well as corner, that the value is there. But again, you do need help on the offensive line, and there are guys who are very good. And Nicholas Petit-Frere has games where he looks phenomenal, and games where he looks horrible. Bernard has a lot more potential. So if I am the Indianapolis Colts, I'm going to take the guy with a bit more potential. I think I am. I'd feel a lot more comfortable. Bernard, again, he's one hell of a hard worker. I think he is from Europe, if I'm not mistaken. So good for him as well. Trying to see if we could find anything cool from his background. But I mean, just a very talented player. And again, I'm not a fan of David Bell as much as other people. So I think the value of Bernard Raymond here will be the equivalent of Sky Moore in the third. There you go. That's going to be my spoiler pick. For the Chargers, this is a team that could use a right tackle as well. If I'm sitting here, I'm them. I'm like, ooh, tackle or corner. You can get Kyler Gordon, though. You guys know me. I favor offensive line. Max Mitchell out of Louisiana might be the dude here, but I'm going to go Nicholas Petit-Frere. Again, could sub in at left tackle for injuries as well. I think he's a guy who definitely has some big flashes on his tape, and that's somebody who I want on my roster. 49, if I were in control of the Saints, I'm pulling the trigger on Kyler Gordon all day, every day. Phenomenal athlete, phenomenal corner. Definitely worth it. With the Vikings now on the board, this is actually a tough spot because I'm actually probably going to look at that defensive end position. Drake Jackson would be a really fun guy on this team. I think he fits really well as well. Boye Mafe, another guy who could definitely be in this conversation, just a big athletic freak. But yeah, we're going to be going with Drake Jackson. Cam Thomas is definitely in that consideration as well, though. But we're going to go Drake Jackson here. 51 for the Eagles. I didn't know that I forgot that the Eagles had a second round pick for some reason. The Eagles, we've gone safety, corner, and edge. I still would look in the offensive line because Zion Johnson would be a very good guy to put in that left guard spot to let Dickerson move to center. I'd be happy with that. And he also can play left tackle. Sean Ryan as well. So definitely looking at both of these guys who I have second round grades on. I mean, linebacker, definitely something I'd look at, but I don't have anybody in this range. I don't, and I'm not reaching for that. I'm not. You could look at wide receiver with someone like David Bell or Sky Moore. I don't think that really offers much to the team. Again, you'd have to go after somebody like George Pickens to get that type of value you're looking for, a true number one. So for me, I'm actually going to go Zion Johnson here. He has some phenomenal reps here and there. He can also play left tackle in case of injury. Sean Ryan is untested. So that's why I'm going to be putting Zion Johnson to the Eagles, putting Landon Dickerson as the heir apparent at center, as he should be. Number 52, we got the Steelers on the board. Steelers, we got to go offensive line. I mean, even if corner is there, we got to go offensive line. It's Faalele or Mitchell. And to be honest, like, I don't like Faalele that much. I'm going to go Max Mitchell. You have to protect Big Ben. You do. Or not Big Ben, but you have to protect Matt Corral. And Max Mitchell's also quite mobile for his size. So I like that quite a bit. I love Max Mitchell to the Steelers. I mean, he's not somebody who is blowing my socks off on the grading scale. He is a third rounder to me. But again, the Steelers, need it so badly. I'm not reaching into like a fourth round pick here. This is an early third. But Max Mitchell provides a very high level of talent to a roster that desperately needs it. To me, that's easily worth a second round pick. And plus, he's a perfect fit. Number 53 for the Raiders. This is a corner pick all the way. There's some great guys still on the board. I think Martin Emerson just fits the Raiders a little bit more. If I were the Raiders, I'd be like, I want Martin Emerson because that guy he screams Raider. So we're going to be going Martin Emerson here. And if I am the Patriots, I mean, I very well might just get Trent McDuffie here. It might not be a bad decision at all. You want to look at the other guys on the board. Daniel Faalele would be quite fun to add as a tackle. And to be honest, who's that right tackle? I'm remembering his name, Trent Brown. He's kind of out. He's kind of old, isn't he? He's also injury prone, if I'm not mistaken, as well as he got pretty fat over there in Las Vegas trying to get out of there. I'm actually going to take him. You guys know me. I love offensive line. So the next round is probably where all the specific guys, like the skill positions, are going to go. Number 55, if I am the Cardinals, I'm looking at a couple positions. I'm looking at Josh Pascal, Cameron Thomas, Boye Mafe to be edge rushers, along with Nick Bonito. But I'm also looking at wide receiver because we saw how terrible this team looks without DeAndre Hopkins. David Bell's a really good number 2. I think that he is definitely worth a mid 2 if he's with the right team. And this is the right team. I honestly do believe that. So I'm going to be going David Bell here out of Purdue. Again, kind of wanting to go edge, but we're going to be sticking to the wide receiver route. David Bell out of Purdue. And if I am the Cowboys, I need somebody to be the heir apparent to left tackle, and that's Sean Ryan. He's going to be the left guard in the short term. When Connor Williams is gone, putting him left tackle when Tyron Smith retires. I mean, that's as good as you can ask for, right? I love Sean Ryan. 57, I mean, is this even a question? Obviously, edge, I mean, you could definitely go after someone like Josh Pascal, Boye Mafe, but Boye Mafe would be honestly my number 1 edge on the board left for the 49ers. But if I'm sitting in their seat, I'm saying I'm re-signing Arden Key. Played phenomenally this year. And I'm going to be getting Trent McDuffie. I think he fits really well with the scheme. I think his bailout is phenomenal, even though his athleticism is not. I think the bailout alone is good enough to get enough depth to work well enough in the scheme. You guys can see my article that's on my website down in the description below. It's a great place. I'm going to be posting a lot more articles when I start writing them, which will be coming soon. Just, again, got to get the motions down, got to get used to writing my own reports now. So definitely give me some feedback on that, because Trent McDuffie, I have him as a late second. This is where I think he should go. And again, for the right scheme fit, I could see it much earlier. Number 58 for the Bengals. This has to be offensive line, in my opinion. But when you look at it, it is bad. It is bad. So I'm not doing that. I'm looking at the rest of the guys on the board. You got still guys like Cam Thomas on the board. Wide receivers are all over the place. Really good corners as well. Tight ends galore. I think this could be a good spot to trade down with the team, because I'm looking at guys like Josh Pascal as a very good addition. Same thing with Boye Mafe. The teams that are kind of hungry for an interior edge presence. Boye Mafe could be interior or exterior. The guy's a freak of nature. He honestly should probably work on the outside, but his weight says he could play inside. It's complicated, guys. It's complicated. So if I am a team like the Buccaneers or the Jaguars, I'm definitely thinking of making a move up here. The Jaguars, they just went Majai, but Majai I'm going to be using in a very unique role versus somebody like Boye Mafe, who's you just use anywhere. But we're not going to do that again. I don't think that if I were the Bengals, I would not want to trade back that far. I would be fine trading back here because the Broncos are going to be going edge, most likely. Most likely. Let's just check to make sure, see if there's anybody crazy falling here. Just, again, you got to stay up to date. There's some good wide receivers in here, but I'm actually going to be moving up the Bucs. I am, because I think the Buccaneers could take prime advantage. I'll actually hold up a second. I want to see what the Buccaneers took in the first. I forgot about that. There's Chad Muma. Yeah, we're going to be moving up with the Bucs. I think it's the right move. Bucs are moving up with the Bengals, and they are going to be, I mean, if I were the Bengals, it'd be like, screw it, give me future draft capital, because honestly, give me a future 4. No, future 5. It doesn't make sense for a future 4. That's a very expensive trade if it's a future 4 for a couple picks. But a future 5, that could end up being a lot better than it is this year, where they're already guaranteed playoff spot. So with the Buccaneers, I think the right move is to go edge here. Josh Pascal is a nasty guy from the interior. You do him, do Boye Mafe, do Cameron Thomas, do whatever. But I think Josh Pascal from the inside is a round 2 guy. I absolutely love him. 59 for the Bills. This is another team that could use some extra help on the interior. You got Devontae Wyatt here, who is right behind, what's his name? Jordan Davis. That was a tough one. Corner 2, though. I mean, we need a corner 2 pretty badly. I really just kind of want to do Marcus Jones here. I do. Tariq Woolen would be a very intriguing one at 6'4". I don't have a second round grade on him. I do love Marcus Jones, though. Kobe Bryant in there as well. Marcus Jones is just so good. But I know Teron Johnson, I think, plays the slot, and Marcus Jones he played 25% of his snaps in the slot, and he's 5'8". It just hurts. It hurts because I really do like him. So I would even consider Perrion Winfrey here. Again, he's just somebody, he has some crazy flashes. It's incredible. But who's here left on the offensive line? Jamari Sawyer. I'm not that high on Jamari Sawyer. I'm going to be honest, guys. Just not a big fan of him. So we're going to be sticking off that train. Yeah, this is a spot. I think, actually, I do kind of like this idea, though. I think, like, Tariq Woolen needs some help, but Tre'Davious White is the great mentor. And 6'4" corner. If I were sitting here, I'm like, dude, like, why not? At this point, like, why not? Again, you could go with the interior defensive line, help out the run game. Honestly, that's what we're gonna do. Devontae Wyatt isn't the best run defender, so we're gonna go Travis Jones because he just brings a lot more meat to the party. But definitely do need to kind of bolster that interior. At 328 pounds, 13% body fat, Travis Jones is just more of a unique guy. So I'd be like, you know what? It's a safe pick. Let's go with it. 60 for the Broncos. This is going to be Marcus Jones. He's just I'm not the only one that's calling this, but he's a baller. The guy's just a freak on the field, and he's very fun to watch. So having him in the slot corner role, and you can use him boundary on the squad, that's good value. That's really good value. 61 with the Chiefs. I'm going to pull this trigger all the way. If I'm there, it's like I see John Mechie, I'm taking a shot, because he's a little bit more than just a gadget player like Wan'Dale Robinson is, or Jalen Tolbert could have been a guy here, but I'm pretty happy with my decision right now. 62 for the Bengals. Again, offensive line, something I do kind of want to target here, but I don't really trust Jamari Sawyer, and the rest of these guys are not surprising me that much at all. So it's unfortunate, but we are actually going to be going with a tight end here. And Isaiah Likely, no, I can't see him doing that. The problem is that a lot of these tight ends, it sucks that Sam Laporta is not on the board. But, Isaiah Likely could be that dude. He doesn't actually do that poorly blocking. That's the thing. He's not that poor of a blocker. But he does also play wide receiver for some sets. To be honest, it wouldn't be a bad idea to have him out there. This is a tough spot. This is because I'm not really a huge fan of being in this position. And again, this is my mock draft. So I'm going to do something I don't usually do. Trade back twice. I'm going to do it again. And there are some really good players on the board. You do have guys, even like McHale, right, and Kobe Bryant. Those guys could go here. That's fine. But I'm looking mainly at Nick Benito, Boye Mafe, Cam Thomas, like guys who deserve to go around this point. So the Texans, I'm pretty sure they went after edge already this round, right? They went after Sam Williams. They don't need it. Jets have already went after one. You could see the Giants going after one, though. The Giants have already moved up multiple times, but Cam Thomas kind of feels like he could be a Giant. So we're actually going to make that happen. We're going to have the Bengals move back a little bit more with the Giants. Of course, actually, the Bengals are not making the trade. The Bengals are here, moving back with the Giants, who are going to be moving up to be able to select a high-end prospect. That is so funny. Look at that. We're going to do a fifth and ask for our seventh in return. we're gonna do that. Bengals are just moving up the draft board that way. And this is going to be Cam Thomas. I think he's just a big guy you can use on that interior. I like that quite a bit. Logan Hall's another guy who could have fit that role, but I think Cam Thomas is a bit more value. And at 63 for the Falcons, I think this is a good spot to look at a guy like Wan'Dale Robinson to be your new Cordero Patterson, a good gadget weapon for you to use all around. Number 64 for the Packers. I think to end off the second round, you got to give a good weapon. Jalen Tolbert, 6'3", 190 pounds, blazing fast. Dealt with a highly inaccurate quarterback. Definitely worth the pick at this point, especially factoring in the guys who are coming after. So that's going to be the draft, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Come back for round 3. See you guys on the far side. Peace.